There is a chance that everyone will come together and get behind this, and we've got the chance to build a future in which there's not going to be violence and there isn't going to be war, and we're able to secure a situation where people can take their place as democratically elected representatives, and in doing so will of course obey the rules that are there in relation both to the Assembly and to the particular part of the provisions on decommissioning. Thank you.
My name is Eóin Tennyson. I'm an Alliance Party MLA for Upper Bann, and I was born just a few days after the Good Friday Agreement referendum. It's hard to imagine the sheer sense of possibility and relief that my parents felt going out to vote for that agreement in the hope of a better future for me and for my generation. It opened the door for us to grow up in a more peaceful and prosperous society, free from much of the violence of our parents and grandparents, but it also offers a framework for the future. We have achieved relative peace, but I believe there's still so much more work to do. I still grew up in a divided society where my community background dictated so much about my life, where I grew up, where I went to school, what street I lived on, which football teams I could support, and even what my political views should be. I first became aware of the Good Friday Agreement in 2015, possibly for the wrong reasons, because it was just after the DUP had abused the petition of concern to block equal marriage in the Assembly, and that was going to deny me possibly my right to marry in the society that I grew up. So I took out the agreement and I read about its aspirations and some of its structures, and I became convinced that we needed to make progress to ensure that mechanisms such as the petition of concern, which were designed to protect minority communities from discrimination, couldn't be turned on their head and abused to discriminate against newly visible communities like the LGBT community. So in 2023, we need to ensure that the agreement is fit for purpose, that it is able to deliver on equality, diversity and inclusion, and that it is able to reflect the Northern Ireland that exists today, because we're no longer simply an orange and green society, we're a diverse society and our political institutions need to reflect that. The Good Friday Agreement shows what's possible when people in Northern Ireland come together and actually work together for better. The rigidity of the structures of the Good Friday Agreement were put there in the hope that people would work together in goodwill and in good faith to finally build trust and overcome some of the issues of distrust that existed. And I think that same spirit is needed today, where people need to reach out, build that trust and actually be incentivised to cooperate. Too often the structures that we have don't incentivise that, but actually moving forward, that's where we need to be.